Hello, Canada. How are all you fine patriots today? Brent, my brother. Hey, Paco. Paco, you've got the coolest name ever. I gotta tell you that. Glad to see you guys. Lacey. Love you, Lacey. Hey, Janelle. Caroline, thanks for coming. Looks like some new faces in the house tonight. Jonathan, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Awesome. Mehmet, my brother, all the way from the UK. You're staying up late, buddy. Hey, Sheila. Maggie, my friend. Gord, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Todd. How you all doing tonight? It's getting kind of crazy out there in digital media land, hey? Hey, Janice. Thanks for coming, Clayton. My favorite people, patriots, all in one place. Gotta love it. All of you too, Mehmet. I gotta get you and Andy over here. This is enough is enough. Hey, Rhonda. Thanks for stopping in. Mary, good to see you. Nikki. Awesome. Hey, Matthew. You guys have been sending me so much really great stuff. Like, it's just overwhelming. Norm, my brother. Nicole, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. The last 2-3 days since I started doing this, you guys have been really been rock stars, way more than I expected. Hey, Brian, Julia, good to see you. What's happening? All kinds of stuff is happening, and really, so long as it's all throwing gasoline into that liberal dumpster fire, I just can't help but wiggling and dancing in my chair. Hey, Tamara. Jay, good to see you guys. Probably missing some people. Brian, Jane, good to see you. Tom, thanks for coming in. Julia, thank you. Love seeing you every day in here. Hi, Diane. Oh, that's just sheer panic. Just sheer panic. And for those of you that don't know what's going on with the Regina, hey, Debbie. Trudeau tried to slide into Regina. Hey, Jeremy, brother. Tamara and I were just having chats in other places a few minutes ago. Right, Maggie? She's got the coolest name. Sheila. Yeah, Trudeau's a no-show in Regina. He talks a lot about for the people and transparency, but he's got the wiggliest butt in the country when it comes to actually standing up to talk to anybody. The Liberals are definitely sweating hard, and it's just keeps exploding around them. They're to the point where they're throwing gas on their own dumpster fire, and you gotta celebrate them for that, right? But it does open the door for some other issues that maybe people didn't see coming, and I don't have a lot prepared tonight because honestly there's been so much happening. Hey, Brenda. That it's really hard because no sooner do I try to prepare for talking about something than it's changed. Thela, that's a beautiful name, very cool. And it's changing so fast that yes, there's and that it's confusing. It's really confusing because first he tried to slide in. Liberal supporters knew a week ago that he was coming. It only didn't get leaked to the press until the day before. So yesterday morning, people started to find out about it. And his itinerary came out, his plans, and he was supposed to make a stop and do a speech at a Canadian Tire to promote his global or his environmental plans and platform. And it was also supposed to be a charity fundraiser. and he got rocked really hard in Toronto. I'm not sure if it was the night before or what night exactly it was. Um, and so when the people in Regina and all of Saskatchewan heard he was coming, you guys you might have to hit get notifications for when I go live. Um, Facebook is really not trying to help us promote what we're doing. That's part of the reason why I'm coming on live every day at the same time, so that you guys don't have to depend on notifications. That you guys can know that, give or take a minute or two, we're gonna be here and we're gonna be talking. Stacy, little sister, how you doing? Oh, I love you, Stacy. There's the first Batman comment. Where's the first miss the bus comment? It's got to be coming. Yeah, he's going to teach us because he fully believes that Canadians are not intelligent enough to to sort things out for themselves. Craig, yeah, I know there's a lot of disappointed people that would have loved to have given Trudeau a piece of their mind in Regina today. Well, that's cool, Paco. People aren't all getting them though, so yeah. So yeah, best thing I can miss the boss. How to pull it, Jeremy. Thank you. Knew somebody wouldn't disappoint me and they'd be out there soon enough. But yeah, and this is I think what Trudeau can fully expect anywhere he goes now, and that's because the country has woken up, and it's a huge bundle of things that's done it. It's not one little thing, but it boils down to one thing, to me, and that's you guys, the court of public opinion. All of these things, be it the convoy, SNC Lavalin, Admiral Norman, the resignations, they're all things that are part and parcel, just absolutely destroying him and his party in the court of public opinion, the most powerful court in any land. Yeah, exactly, Maggie. You might not get them, but all you can do is hit follow and hit notifications. Usually, when you sign into these, a little pop up will appear to get notifications when I'm going live again next. So try and watch for that when you guys sign in to the lives, and it might help you get them a little bit quicker. But I'm gonna try to do them as close as I can to 5:30 every day. There again, like I say, it's not regular scheduled broadcasting. I am not a news agency. I am just a concerned citizen. Stacy wants to come in here. Let's bring Stacy in for a second. And hey, Terry, check this out, guys. Start some watch parties. It's a great way to get the people. When you're starting a watch party, what happens is all people that follow you get notified that you're having a watch party, and they can watch on it. How you doing, Stacy?
I'm doing. How are you?
I would have to make it better.
So I know a lot of people haven't seen too much of me, and I haven't been doing too many lives because I'm here by myself right now. But I am doing a lot of behind the scenes kind of stuff. And I just, for everybody who's wondering, I know there's questions flying around Facebook about me. I'm still here. I'm still ready to educate, and I'm going to be on the road soon. But yeah, I'm just doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that needs to be legally taken care of before we can continue and move forward.
Life has to come first.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of what my pop-in was about there for you, Wayne. It's that, and I hope that everybody enjoyed our little educational segment on the carbon tax that Bobby and Andrew did.
I was otherwise occupied. So I missed it, but I will definitely catch it as soon as I can.
I think there's some live videos. If you go through on my own personal profile, you should be able to see it. I'm pretty sure I put it on there. And if it's not on there, then it's going to be on Bobby or Andy's anyway. So
all I can say is tag me.
Yeah, we will for sure. There's a little bit of everything everywhere right now going on. So, but I mean, it's a good thing because everybody that I see, Glenn, you, everybody else, Pat, Jamie, Angie, Bobby, all of us, it's like we have a common goal, and that's to educate everybody, because an informed decision is an educated one. And makes all the difference, right?
It's not about right wing or
It's
left
not
wing. It's
about
about
right
knowing.
wing or left wing. It's about knowing.
Right. And that's the thing, is knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut you short this time because without headphones, it's causing a horrible echo and
people are
leave.
gonna leave.
That's okay. I totally get it. I don't have my headphones. They're somewhere buried in my truck ever since the road trip.
Awesome.
Well,
we're connected.
connected.
We'll stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I'm gonna let you go for now, Stacy.
Okay, bye.
Call me later
or something.
Will do.
All right.
Okay, bye.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. If I love bringing people in here. If you guys can do me a favor when you come in, maybe plug in your headset before you do so. It will help us all up. Carl, I know. I think this is everything's catching up to everybody. I've been so swamped with meetings and calls. The last couple of days, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and it's all part and parcel for what we're doing. It's to be expected, and as we grow, there's more to do. We've got I really wish I could share some of the stuff that we've got coming to you guys in the next week or two, but I really don't want to give you guys information that's going to change. We've got so many programs that are going to be launching. I think there's 6 different things that we're going to be launching in the next week or two. It's going to be awesome stuff. This is a lot of what we're working on in the back end of things, and we never stop working. We are absolutely a forgiving lot, Julia. We're all family, and this is all an evolution of what we're doing. Awesome. Thank you, Lacey. I will talk to you guys later. Any of you guys that share this out, start some watch parties. That's what I was telling you guys earlier there, was that watch parties is a great way to get people engaged on your feed. You can engage with them and watch it together. So that this is a really cool tool for you guys to help educate. So yeah, back to Regina. I live in Calgary, Diana. Natalie, my angel, I get to see and give my Natalie a hug this Saturday. It's going to be epic. How many of you guys are coming up to Edmonton on Saturday? For those that you guys don't know, we've got buses coming from Saskatoon and from Calgary. Working on it, Peter. Working on it, Peter. Caught your show today. Great stuff. You had my buddy Mark on there. It was really good to hear. He's a wise man, deeply connected, and one of the biggest patriots you'll ever meet. So yeah, the buses. Yay, Natalie. You guys still got some seats left out there, Natalie? Last I heard, you guys had 3 seats left. We've got quite a few left coming from Calgary. I think we've got 8 or 9, maybe 10 seats booked so far. So there's still 10 or 12 available. There's going to be live feeds on Saturday. Absolutely. That's the Freebird Media will be there covering the day, as well as myself. I'm sure almost every other news outlet in Edmonton will be there. There's a small convoy coming from Calgary. There's people joining in along the way. It's going to be a nice showing for the Edmonton group. We're going there to show solidarity between provinces and between citizens and between communities. And I got some feedback today that people are discounting this event and what it is, and that really hurt my feelings. From Saskatchewan, hey Valerie, from Saskatchewan the seats are $25. From Saskatoon and from Calgary they are 30. We've got a full-size bus that we're bringing out. Oh, that's that reality show stuff going on again. Sorry, guys. Working on that. Rebel Media coming. Good question. I don't know. I suspect that they'll be there, but what I will do, it's a good reminder, Maggie, I will send Kian a message and see if somebody's coming out there. Angel, you know where to find most of us. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about some of the things that are coming back to me about what some people are saying, and It's really unfortunate and sad that some of these people are saying these things. Some of the live feeds are portraying this event in Edmonton as something other than what it is, and they actually and I don't think it was really. I think it was more of an off the cuff response, but nobody is going there to challenge and fight with Antifa. That is so the wrong perception and idea. They absolutely have their right to be there. They have their right to their speeches and to their feelings. And what we're going there for is to provide a group of people to show solidarity that we're all in this together. We're going to go there and we're going to ask them to share their beef. We're going to ask them to tell their story. We want to know. They have the right, as much right to free speech as anybody else. So that's what this is about in Edmonton, and we're hearing feedback from people that are in the convoy saying that and they know better, that they're calling us a bunch of racists, that we're just going there to oppress and aggravate Antifa, and that is so not the case. So not the case. So I feel it's important, and I'm not going to put out any names because I'm not trying to bash or hurt anybody that's trying to do something. Anybody that's known me in this movement right from the beginning has been told very clearly that I have one allegiance. That's to Canada. I don't. I haven't sworn on a oath for any group, other or organization or foundation. I will help anybody that puts Canada first, because to me that's what this is all about. Angie, Road Angel, awesome. That's what this is all about, and that's what this meeting in Edmonton, this meetup in Edmonton is about, and not what maybe some people are portraying out there. And it might be just that they're not having all the facts. I don't know. So this is I want those people that pay attention to what Carl and I are doing to know and understand that unequivocally we are not going there for anything other than peace and solidarity. That's it. Bottom line, end of story. So it's really simple. Nobody needs to complicate it. Anybody that wants to throw dirt or smudge on what's happening out there, the issue is in their level of understanding, not the facts of what's going to be happening. So bear that in mind. Connect with some people. Go out there, meet people that are about like-minded events. This whole convoy really put things on center stage, that it did. But the facts are, this is way deeper and way bigger than a convoy and pipelines. And I'm hearing that people aren't watching or they're not paying attention anymore because the convoy is over. Well, the convoy is over, and if people aren't watching anymore, that shows you exactly the level of their awareness about the issues in Canada. If they're not paying attention to what is going on, then you know that all they care about is the pipeline. And if that is all we get is the pipeline, they give us a pipeline, people may tend to accept that as enough. And I don't think that's what the Yellow Vests are about. I don't believe that's what it's about. I believe it's about fixing Canada. And I think I can safely speak for most of the Yellow Vests out there. That's what it's about. A pipeline would be great. There's no reason there should be a fight over it, though. This is something that should have happened a long time ago. This is all part and parcel to things that are way beyond our average knowledge base, and this is what we're trying to do with the Yellowvests is uncover some of these bits and pieces of knowledge so you guys can connect the dots for yourself. We're not out here to convince anybody of everything. You guys can see it, and it's just a matter of finding the little nugget that leads you to your truth, and showing people that, okay, we're not crazy. We're not crazy. And I mean, we have proven time and time and time again that we are not racist, that we are not xenophobes. We have legit questions that are not being heard and they're not being answered. So to hear some of these people that made this journey with us, throwing us under the bus that we're a bunch of racists and we shouldn't be supporting our people in Edmonton because Antifa is going to be there, is almost... it's it is what it is, I guess. I don't want to shed any negativity on that. You guys can make up your own minds. And that's exactly what's been happening all along here. People are saying stuff. You guys are seeing it. You guys are living it. You know the truth. And it's going to be the same way this Saturday. And this, no matter what you look at in Canada right now, if there's a problem with it, there's a way to follow the map right straight back to the UN. And they're not even hiding it anymore. The problem is that we're not looking at it and we're not talking about it. So this is what we've got to do. And that's what my little new show thing, whatever you want to call it, I don't even like to call it a show because it's just me talking to some of my fellow patriots. But that's what we're about. It's just to try and talk about some of these things and bring them to light, things that are happening every day and how it matters to us. That's right. We're going to educate, not irritate. And they're going to be irritated until they start to get educated. That's the nature of dealing with programming. These people have been programmed against us. And they're still getting fed that programming, and it's coming every day in the mainstream media. And this is what we've been up against all along. We've been proving it wrong all along. So when you guys are seeing anybody on any of the feeds or anything like that calling us racist or anything else, you guys know the truth. Like there's 60 people in here right now, 65 people in here right now that absolutely know without a doubt that I am not a racist. So we can talk to people that have been around 5 minutes in this movement and believe them, or believe the people that have been around forever and are working it and are doing it. So it is what it is, guys. I'm not going to rain on anybody's parade, but just think for ourselves. That's what we're trying to do, is give people enough information. They're curious enough. Go and look for themselves. Use your brains. Find out more. There's way bigger issues, and you're absolutely right, Janelle. This is what we got to do. We got to keep the issues at the front. And one of the biggest issues I see here right now is we're moving in the right direction, but things happen, and it's like being in a battlefield. There's things that change the scope of how things happen. Loretta, you are a racist then. You're racing your wheelchair. But what's happening with the Liberal Party? And this is kind of a snowball effect, and this isn't done self-detonating. There's more testimony that's going to come, and this whole thing. What makes me nervous about it is it's really shaping up like a false flag, because the truth is that at any point in time, the government could write a check, buy out SNC-Lavalin, keep the jobs, fire the corruption, and nothing would change. No jobs would be lost. This is totally within their power to do. So why is this being drug out like it is? And the truth of it is it's because of a couple of other things that nobody's looking at, because they're so busy focused on this. And this was what prompted me to talk about this tonight. It was a message that I got that nobody's paying attention to the convoy anymore, because the SNC Lavalin hearing is taking everybody's attention, which is what they want. This is the evolution of the next Liberal Party. The Liberal hand, exactly, smoke and mirrors, Nikki. They know, because of what's happened in the last few weeks, Trudeau is done. No matter what, Trudeau is done. So they have to look at, how do they save the Liberal Party? And how do you save a party? You give it a hero. And this is where I get afraid, because now these two women that are still Liberals, they've resigned from their positions, but they're still Liberals, and they are in a perfect position to become interim Prime Minister and run on their newfound popularity and heroism to take over the next party, because there's so much controversy between Scheer and Mad Max, that Hero taking up the Liberal, which still has a fairly deep depth, would save the party. And if they give us a pipeline with a Hero at the helm just before election, what's going to happen? Right? This is 4D chess, and this is where we have to be looking at not what they want us to see, but what they don't want us to see. And so this is where I really question the amount of the sheer volume of platitudes these people are getting, and is the exaltation that they're getting to these pedestals that they're being put on. And they did their jobs, but they waited 3.5 years to do their jobs. They said yes to every crooked thing that happened along the way, and now, just before the election, they choose to get a conscience and to make a stand on morality. They're doing that for one reason, and that's to take over what Trudeau dropped. Trudeau dropped the ball. He fumbled it. So they're gonna put somebody in there that they have been able to vilify to some, and put on a pedestal for others. And now we've got somebody who is a woman, and I'm not saying she's not qualified, but there's the questions. She's still a liberal. She's still a globalist. She still said yes to everything along the way. So that's what I'm really and truly afraid of. So we're going to talk about that as these things happen more and more and more. We can't let that cloud our perception, our judgment, our tasks at hand. Okay, and I'm a firm believer that until we have the Constitution in our hands, that's all they're going to do is be playing us with smoke and mirrors, playing this division game, calling somebody something else to create hatred and division. And this is what is the power of the yellow vests and the people that are doing this. So this is what we have to stick to our guns. We have to stay the course. We have to stay in our lane and beware of the things that they're doing. And this is where these talks are so valuable. Is Treasury Department. That resignation. I thought that was a victory, but now after somebody sending me some more information, that there's some things happening with after the fact of the finance minister's resignation that do not pass the smell test. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., they're having a press conference, and the Treasury Department is having a press conference a day after their minister quit amid turmoil and controversy. What could they really be telling us? I think it's going to be some sort of desperate ploy to maybe drop the interest rates at the same time so that they can maybe win back a little bit of favor. I don't know, but it's really something that we can't overlook, and we need to pay attention to. That's a typical thing that the whole smoke and mirrors and the false flag thing is have us so busy looking somewhere else that we're not paying attention to the real problems that they're trying to slide in the back door. No worries, Pierce. All good. All good. Today I'm kind of winging it a little bit, talking about some current events. I didn't have a lot of structure because, like I said, things are changing so fast. Big disruption in Regina today. Yeah, we were talking about that, and we need to keep that up. We need to keep that up. Keeping them on their toes and on the defensive means that they're not on the attack. And it's something that we need to just keep on top of. And we do that via communicating with each other, outside of the normal ways they expect us to communicate. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And where there's mirrors and smoke, there's a government playing tricks on us. And the bigger that fire rages, the more they can slide in the back door. One of my big concerns is that the Admiral Norman case has not been getting any attention at all since this started. And that should be a more significant case than the SNC Lavalin one, because that's one that they can't fix. They can't just buy out the Navy and keep the jobs. The Navy is already there. The Navy functions on a different set of laws than what the rest of corporations and we do. So it's really makes me wonder why they don't want us looking at that, why they don't want us talking about that, because that's a fight he cannot win. and it's basically the same issues, the same charges, the same scandal that he was pushing through with the Navy versus what he was doing with SNC-Lavalin. So, and this all boils down to him benefiting his Saudi friends over Canadians. So it's just another segment of what we're not looking at. So over the next couple of days, I'm going to see if there's any updates on that story to bring up again, and just to keep people on the ball on it. Keep looking, keep digging. You can hear my beard. I'll unplug my headphones for now. You know, until there's somebody else in here, maybe that'll be a little bit better. Well, I think Mr. Butts is scheduled to testify tomorrow, and I know the whole world is going to be watching on that again. Um, but it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say. I'm not sure how that works. That he is even testifying tomorrow. He's probably going to try and discredit Jody. This it really doesn't make a lot of sense as to why his testimony, why he requested it, and why it's being allowed. I don't understand the process there, but just a sec, guys. I really apologize. I gotta pop out. I'll be back in 1 minute. Sorry, guys. The reality of live streaming. Yeah, a little announced to me. Hi, Christina. Sorry about that. I was doing my live stream with you guys like I have been doing regularly, and I didn't know that usually there's somebody upstairs, and I didn't know the dog was losing its mind, and I didn't know nobody was home, so it was getting kind of animated upstairs there, so I wasn't sure what was going on, so that was why I jumped off with emergency. My apologies, maybe it wasn't an emergency, but when you got a 150-pound dog losing his marbles, it could be an emergency for somebody. So deepest apologies on that, guys. This is the reality of live streaming, I guess. Hey, Natalie. Hi, Danny. And I think I was probably into some good stuff there. Oh, Valerie, don't make me blush. Brother Andy. Awesome. We got half the UK awakened in here tonight. That's cool. Norm. Glad you guys are back. My apologies again. Didn't mean to scare anybody. Had a there's where I'm staying here now. There's a 150-pound black lab, or pardon me, chocolate lab that was losing his marbles upstairs. So that's usually a pretty good indicator that something's going on, and I need to go. I didn't know there was nobody else in the house. Let's see here. What do you got here, Scott? Wow, that's a deep post. That'd be more than I can read on here at the moment. It's so small. Trying to read this way. Hey, Paul, thanks for coming in. So, anybody remind me where I was? I'm expecting them, just not yet, Norm. I hope not yet. I'm trying to fly under the radar and not give them any reason to take any interest in me. So yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's a big suck, but he sure likes to make himself sound 3 times the size of what he is. And where was I? I was talking about some good, fun stuff. Hey, Guy. Yeah, I'll get to that later for sure, Scott. I'm always interested in what you guys are sharing with me. You guys have been sharing some real gold with me. We were talking about some different stuff, some the false flags and things that we need to be watching out for in there. And if you guys get a hold, what happens is a lot of these stories that they don't want us seeing, they'll pop out with a really low key poster or a report on it or an update, and they'll make sure that they pump about 4 things after it right away so that it gets washed away and flooded away. So if you guys get an update or somebody sees something in the news about the Admiral Norman case, please send it to me. I'd like an update on that one. And the other one is the school teacher in Ontario that the school board has terminated him basically for talking about the convoy in current events class. These are some stories that I don't think should be allowed to be dropped from public scope. So if any of you guys catch some updates on them, please ship them to me, send them to me. There's a lot going on right now, and I don't get a chance to see it all. You guys have been so amazing in sending me new stuff to look at. I really appreciate that. It helps me sort out things, and it also lets me know to things that are on your mind. Freeling-Soros relationship. I would be very, very surprised if there was not some form of relationship there. She has been Mr. Trudeau's right-hand appendage for a long time, and if she wasn't holding that relationship down, then Mr. Butts was before, but they're also in it. It's the stink is on all of them. Desiree, I appreciate that. I'm trying not to burn myself out. There's just so much that I want to do. We've got so much on the table, and once we're done building some of this stuff, it'll allow for a little bit more time for normalcy. I have not been following my own self-care routines, and neither has Carl, which is probably why he's having a rough time keeping up today. So he's not going to make it in tonight, I don't think. I'm not going to keep you guys too much later here. I just wanted to let everybody know that everything was okay and chat with you guys for a little bit more for a few more minutes. If anybody has an update on what's happening in Regina, fill me in on that. Mr. Trudeau's pulled a no-show and sent Mr. Goodall in his place again, because whenever Mr. Fancy Socks doesn't have an answer, he sends somebody else. I personally have a beef with Mr. Goodall. The day that he called us brown shirts was the day that he said unforgivable things in my mind. I am a Canadian. I am not a Nazi, and I am not an extremist. I am a patriot that believes in my country first, and if he wants to label people that believe the same thing as Nazis, then he is the Nazi. But we already know that he's Gestapo, so it's ridiculous the levels that they're going to discredit the people, and it's you that they're attacking. It's you guys that they're calling all these names. It's not just me. It's all of us. They think we are completely incapable of functioning on our own, and that's absolutely not unforgivable in my mind what Mr. Goodall thinks and says in public. So I hope that even though he shows up in Trudeau's place, that you guys give him the warm welcome that every Liberal should have. Yeah, and that's Trudeau's way. It's get rid of any and all objection. Goodall was a no-show too. Figures. I think you're probably going to see any future attempts at this really by Trudeau or his people they're just not going to happen. And that's part of why I think that you're going to see an interim leader put in place. I don't think Trudeau will he may step down from his office, but I'm pretty sure he'll keep his seat, and I think we're going to see a replacement that they're hoping will salvage and save the the Liberal Party, and there's only really one candidate that they probably feel can do the job, and unfortunately, I think that she might be able to do the job if we don't talk about it. If we don't talk about it, it's gonna happen for sure. We can't let them forget that she signed every crooked bill that party put through there, and she has no more ethical foundation or moral foundation to run this country than Trudeau does. She did one ethical thing, and they're calling her a hero for it. She took 3.5 years to make up her mind that what was happening wasn't ethical. On an earlier election, that would it would be great because we know the outcome. But I don't think they're going to do it. Right now, they're desperate for as much time to gain and regain as much any semblance of credibility that they have. If they were to call an early election now, they would not even come out of it with party status. I don't think they would lose party status. So we have to look deeper as to what they're not talking about. That's the trick with the media. Then we got to talk about the things they're not talking about. So this is where we can't let this stuff die. We've got to keep on they're holding their feet to the flames. And this is what makes me wonder what Mr. Butts is going to tell us. And I would almost suspect that he's going to throw Trudeau under the bus. And in that way, he can prop up Jody Wilson or Raybould even more as the hero, and that'd be my expectation. It'd be interesting to talk about it tomorrow night and see what he does say. The Saddle Dome today, good question. I wanted to get out there, but it was just not possible. But yeah, Mr. Abomination was apparently in Calgary today, and it's unfortunate that what he may have been spewing. We all know what it really is. Apparently, he got a resounding applause in Toronto, which kind of surprised me. But I was hoping he would get the same response as the Clintons did. Nobody showing up. Stepping down, it's inevitable. I think, Guy. I'm always terrible with that one. I never know which way it goes. Exactly, Peter. A liberal is a liberal is a liberal, and this is where we cannot forgive she's accomplice. She's an accomplice to every crime that Trudeau put through along the way. You want to talk about the hundreds of millions of dollars and the billions of dollars that have disappeared and turned up in terrorist organizations, and it's easily trackable. I just shared a video yesterday of Mr. Quiggins. There's all kinds of evidence out there, and in my mind, it's really helped simplify things. If you're if there's a Liberal supporter and they know what Trudeau is doing, well, then in my mind they're criminal by accessory. They're as guilty as the party that's perpetrating the crime, and they are funding terrorism. And it is endless the numbers of dollars that is being drained out of Canada. Literally, we are being pillaged as a nation, and this money is going to fight what 5 years ago was our common enemy of civilization. And it's not a secret, but it's almost that they're criminalizing us for talking about it. Word by word, they're turning us into they're legislating words as crimes, and we're being persecuted. The only fight we have left is to expand our vocabulary. That's the only choice we have, is to expand our vocabulary and keep at them. They want to make a word illegal? Fine, we'll find another word. The languages are big. We can deal with that. We just got to be aware of it. And sorry, Valerie, what was that? How much sense does that make? I'm guessing that was part of a second question. Or the second part of a question. Well, Trudeau and Soros have always been connected. This goes right back. There's clips and videos of him going back as far as 2014 with George Soros. I think just the night he won the election, or the night before, something like that, he had a meeting with Soros as well. So this is all tied together, and I mean, I'm really waiting for the other shoe to drop, because there's things that are happening outside of Canada that are going to influence this. It's really not hard to look at it. Hard to see when you look at the Trudeau Foundation. It's an exact clone of the Clinton Foundation, and I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but they're so interconnected that. During Trudeau's election, she actually sent up one of her top aides to take over his campaign, and he won with the help of the Clinton Foundation. So these kinds of things are out there. It's not conspiracy theory; it's fact, and people are just not been given enough information to connect the dots before they're discredited or treated like, kooks for, need their tinfoil hat kind of stuff. So these foundations are a big thing, and I think that, and I'm really hoping that with this downfall of Trudeau, that the police at some point, they're going to have to get involved in this. The public is just going to keep demanding it, and rightfully so, and hopefully they take apart that foundation, and we see what comes out of that. There's a lot of truth that's to come out yet, but they are a big club, and they are working together, and they do not have Canadians' best interests at heart at all. We are undergoing a legit recolonization program. They are intending to recolonize us in the fashion that they deem comfortable to them. They are going to rebuild Canada in the image that they see. And it is not a Canadian image as you or I know it. Hockey will not be our premier sport anymore after the restructuring of Canada. As far as for protests at RCMP head depots, I'm not sure that's going to how much that's going to do. It's not something that we've seen anybody do yet. What we need to beat them at their own game. Making enemies of the police, I don't know is the right answer. I don't know what the right answer is yet. I do know that we have them running in the court of public opinion, and that's the best thing that I can see happening. South Africa, there's 2 million Somalis that are on their way here, and that doesn't add into. That's not a part of the annual immigration quota or migration quota that they intend to bring in. So if they're telling us they're bringing in 1 million, that's not including the 2 million special needs cases that they're bringing from Somalia or from anywhere else. So we just got to keep talking about things. We're losing a lot of stuff. The implications and political correctness that are being forced upon us for the benefit of these extreme minorities that portray themselves as victims coming into our country and forcing change upon us is, I think, a large portion of the foundation of what started this Yellow Vest movement. People make references to it coming from from France. Well, the only thing that really came out of it from France was two things: a yellow vest and a sense of extreme frustration and not being heard. The French people felt like they didn't exist, and that's how Canadians feel. It's like we don't exist. They're not listening. They have made that abundantly clear. They listen to nothing we say. If you disagree, they remove you, they shut you down, they shut you off. And this is not the country that any of us grew up in, and it's not the country that people came here to be a part of. And that this is where we have to unite with the people, and we need them to understand that it's the values the infringement on the values that we're fighting for. And that's why people come to Canada, is to escape those things. And people have fought years and suffered through a lot to become Canadians. And these people that are coming have no intention of becoming Canadians. We're seeing that. 95% of the Syrian refugees have never had a job since they got here. They're riding a full-blown ticket, first class everything, while we're stuck getting told that we're asking for more than they can give. I'm not buying that answer from our government anymore. We are one of the richest countries in the world, and they're treating our people like we should be ashamed for asking for our country and our people to be looked after. They shame us for wanting to look after our people because other people need it more. Well, we go wreck their countries and turn everything into chaos and tell us we should feel guilty for not helping. It doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't pass the smell test. And it doesn't for most of you guys either. And this is where people are taking it into their own hands and talking and figuring it out and putting our voices together. So there's a lot of that going on, and this is where there's so many fires burning that they're going to criminalize us and demonize us for anything we do try to say about it. But we got to stick to our guns. We've got to stand up for what's right and what's wrong. We have to talk about, and we can't fix anything without meaningful discussion. And that doesn't mean abusive discussion. That doesn't mean profanity-laced discussion. That's not the best way to get a point across either. Raising your voice, just getting louder doesn't make you right. Communicating will prove you right. Right? You know, it's the old saying: "Don't raise your voice, raise your argument." Well, let's raise our vocabulary and raise the argument, and that's what I really want to encourage people. By raising our argument together, we raise our voice louder, and that's what we have to focus on: educating and just helping people find their truth in the chaos that's out there. We make our message louder by raising it together. That's the truth of it, and it's the people that have to do that. I say this all the time: nobody's coming to save us. It's up to us, and we can do this. We absolutely can do this. There's so much going on from so many different angles right now that it's hard to keep track of. Over the next week or two, we're going to reveal a couple of the big things that are coming. One of them, some of you guys have heard rumors of, that we mentioned the day we got back from Ottawa. When we got off the bus, we were already planning the next project, and we told you guys that as soon as funding would come through, that we would be putting the gears in motion and hitting the road again. That would be Freebird Media, Carl Edward Fleury, and myself, and we're getting close. We're almost there. So it's going to be really exciting. We've got half a dozen different things to reveal to you guys in the next week or two. I'm pretty sure that Carl's going to have one lined up for a big announcement for Saturday up in Edmonton at the big Love Fest that's up there. There's still seats available. If you want to get a seat on the bus, get a hold of me, send me a private message. I'll hook you up and we'll get you squared away. Let your friends know. We'll probably be stops in Airdrie and Red Deer as well. It's $30 a piece, and we'll get you in on the bus and ride in style, and you guys can get a feel for what we experienced going up to Ottawa and back. It was pretty impressive to spend that kind of time bonding with people that think the same as we are. We're just everyday Canadians that took the time to get to know each other, and we were able to raise enough of a voice to get noticed. So as things go here in these regular shows that I'm doing, really what I'm trying to do is give it a bit of a structure in the fact that I want to talk about things that are current and relevant each day, things that are happening this day that we're talking, and to take a look at maybe some outside the box thoughts or on them, and to see if there's an action step that we can engage in to help raise our voice louder. That's the point and purpose of the three things that I want to try and achieve with talking with you folks each day. And some of the things that we're able to do already because of this is because of our communication evolving, being able to line up a welcoming party through Regina. It was enough to scare Trudeau away. So don't underestimate the power of the voice that you guys have already got, even in these small groups, even in these small chats. It's amazing to see the power of this communication turning into real life action that disrupts Mr. Trudeau. That just makes me all happy pants. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It doesn't matter what the government is doing. That's right. We got to stay in our lane. We do us. We do Canada, and we'll win because we outnumber the politicians by a lot, right? And one by one, they're deciding they don't want to play with us anymore. They're tired. They're tired of getting called out, and we're just going to keep doing that. We've got some action steps coming in the next, hopefully, few days that can really put a little bit more of the power into your hands again. I'm going to give you guys a little hint. Get some stamps ready. You're going to love this, right? So we'll announce that on one of the shows. It'll be later this week. But yeah, get some stamps handy. The next time you're at the post office, remember Wayne told you to get some stamps. All right. We're gonna start taking the fight to them in ways that they didn't see coming, right? And really, the biggest enemy is not the government. They have no power anymore. Our enemy is the media, and we can fix that too. We've seen what you guys can do, and we're gonna arm you guys with a few more tools and weapons to take that fight to them a little bit more. And once we silence the media for the corruption and replace the media with people like Freebird Media, like Rebel Media, like me, like Carl, then we're going to be well on the way to fixing and healing Canada. The more people that tune into the truth and to relevant stuff, this is what we got to do. Yeah, you guys made all the difference in Regina, and it's funny because he snuck into Toronto. None of us knew that he was going into Toronto, and we found out he was going into Regina, and we changed his plans for him. I love it. The push is still on, guys. As far as for the anthem, we're gonna have some updates for you on that on Saturday up in Edmonton. So stay tuned to your lives. Get some watch parties going. Get your sausage and crackers and cheese plates and popcorn ready for Saturday afternoon. It's going to be an entertaining show. There's going to be lives from all kinds of people again. I know there's I think some of the road crew might show up there again, but it's gonna be really a lot of fun and a lot of people, and there will be some road apples and there will be some crocodile tears flowing there again. So yeah, let's see. Was there anything else that I had intended to cover today? Not so much today. I'm going to get to some work on some other projects tonight, carrying on things that need to get done, and hopefully not stay awake half the night to do it. I really love you guys and appreciate you guys' support. You guys have been absolutely awesome. I love talking to you guys. Try to get back through the feeds each night and answer any of your more of your questions. But let's do this together. Let's keep bridging the communities, bridging the gaps, getting to know other fellow Canadians. let's do that. It was a beautiful thing what I saw traveling back and forth to Ottawa and back, and I really want for you guys to have that same feeling, to capture that feeling, that pride of who we are, and um, it the feeling and understanding that it's okay, it's a good thing. A patriot is not a dirty word, and the words that they are using, they don't mean nothing. Uh, the old story goes, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. We got to remember that. Jesus, we're not a bunch of kids. These names can't stop us from doing what's right. Because someday you're gonna have to look at your kids and tell them you could have done more, or do you want to say, I did what I could. I did something. I did more than nothing. I don't even have kids, and all I want to do is do more than nothing. I'm doing this for your guys' kids. For those that can't get up and say what needs to be said. And we're going to keep it up. Matthew, exactly. We're going to keep it up. I'm going to start digging into some of the harder topics here really, really quickly. I wanted you guys to understand and get to know me a little bit here better before I start getting into some of these harder topics. I'm not sure with that one, Carol. I'll have to check. There's some. It's not a special event. It's something that they do every Saturday. We're just going to go up there and join them and spread some love. So it's not a full blown event of special significant proportion. This is just Canadians coming together to enjoy what we're doing and take part in what we're doing and show support and patriot love for each part of the community. Different communities coming together. So that's what this event is all about. The other things is just some people that are helping to get transportation, make sure that more people can take part in it. That's all it is. There's nothing special, and none of us are special for doing any of this. Oh, you're gonna make me cry. Oh my goodness, that's all the confirmation I need. We got to keep doing this. We'll start to bringing up some of the tougher topics, and talking about the things that they don't want us to talk about. You rocked me with that one. That's exactly what I was hoping that this would become. Would be a place where people would feel safe for their kids to come and learn and see what's going on and explain things in ways that we don't necessarily always have the time to gather the information on. There's no way I can thank the people that helped me out enough. Carl is a force of nature, and we're exactly like mind, and we believe that with your guys' help, we can make a difference together, stronger than we ever could alone. So this is why we've become unsuspecting cohorts, partners, and Norm, don't you get me started. I will make you bawl like a baby. You just keep it up. I'll start telling stories. And that's kind of the other thing. I don't want didn't so many of these live feeds are about me, look at me, look at what I did, and I'm not really interested in that. I was there to capture stories and experience it, and I've been struggling with how to share this story and how to put it together, and I've had some very very amazing input from some people, and this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this trip as a story. You guys haven't seen much of my footage. It's been one of those things where I didn't want to waste the magnitude of this, because I don't know if everybody else sees it, but I see something great and amazing in this story and what it accomplished, and I want the rest of the story too. And I'm going to be talking to all of the people and places that we stopped in this convoy, and we're going to get more of that story, and I want to tell it as as a true story, as a documentary, because I think this is changing Canadian history. We're living through a change in Canadian history, right, wrong, or otherwise. We're living through it, and we get to write it. And just like this story of one small portion of this, it's an epically huge story. It's a story that's almost too big to be told, but it's still just one part of the story of this history that we're writing in Canada right now. And I want to be on the right side of that. And I know you guys do too. That's why you're here. That's why you guys are choosing to tune in to me instead of changing your channels from one news station to the next to find out what they want you to believe, what they want you to hear. Craig, I appreciate that. I'm just doing what I know I can do, and just doing what is within my skill sets to do. And I've had discussions with other people that I thought were leaders, and I have kind of had to learn to take some of my own words to heart, because I never expected to be a leader. I was always a person behind the camera capturing the leaders, and I've told other leaders that, you know, anybody can stand on a soapbox and preach the sermon. The people will decide who they follow. And when if the people choose to follow you, that makes you a leader. You don't call yourself a leader. The people decide you're a leader. And if the people do, then you have a choice to make. You have to accept that as a responsibility and either step up and lead or get out of the way. I tried to stay out of the way. I didn't see myself as a leader. And you guys have chosen to follow, so I'll be responsible for that, and I will do everything in my power to share and to empower and to teach, but it's not because I want to be a leader. It's because I may have a little bit that I can offer to help create other leaders. Other people are going to need to step up at some point. They will shut me down. They will shut down my feeds. They will shut down my media channels, and I will be gone, and it will be up to somebody else. So this is where you guys need to step up, and if there's value in what I can give you, then take it and run with it. That's what this is about. Exactly, Nikki. The people are my leader. I'm only doing what you guys are asking. That's it. I'm Norm, stop it, dude. Stop it. Kevin, absolutely shoot a question in there. Change the subject. They're going to make me start leaking. I think Norm's taking it as a personal goal to make me leak tonight. And I'm choking on my road apples here already. I'm going to end up dehydrated or something. So shoot me your question, Kevin. I love to answer questions. Working on that, Susan. Absolutely working on that. And this is one of the other reasons why I'm trying to keep it light in here, because no matter what I say and do in here, Laurie, the amount of censorship is what is shutting me down. I work in the digital industry. Before this started, I helped people understand how these social media platforms work to market and sell their products, goods, wares, and services. That was my job. That was what I did. Understanding how Facebook advertising works, understanding how the algorithms work in order to help people promote and take advantage of social media for their business. Part of that understanding is realizing is how they build it is exactly how they tear it down. And it's such an easy thing for us to do, for them to do. Just simple little things like trigger words, what they call flag words. One word, and it doesn't matter the context in it or where it's used. A single word could be enough for them to remove your post. If you have a feed where you may be expressing opposing opinion to any of their agendas, the words and video feeds will get they have an exact word for that, debuffered, basically, where they slow your feed down, they make it almost unbearable to watch, they interrupt it, they just make it uncomfortable. They're not going to shut my feeds down, but they're going to make it so horrible that you're going to get tired of struggling through the static and the interruptions, and you just stop watching. They just make it a bad user experience, because user experience is one of the biggest factors that helps with the algorithms and ranking. So that's why these things, when we engage and we talk and we communicate, deboosting, exactly, that's the term, Sheila, thank you. That's exactly what they're doing. That it's just another example of the freedom of speech being torn away from us. Not just taken away, but it's being torn away from us. And this is, for me, one of my biggest motivators in this is so many things can be fixed with communication. When they take away communication, nothing can be fixed. So this is where having people being able to have meaningful discussion where they can, at the end of the day, agree to disagree and move on, it still brings up educational facts and points. So these are some of the things that we're up against. So I'm working on an alternate platform. I want to do this right, and I want to do it in a place, in a function, in a fashion that can't be corruptible. It can't be hacked. These kinds of things, to build them real. I mean, I've been a website builder for a long time. I can build you a website in 15 minutes that'll go to work for you, but will it work well? No. Is it going to be secure? No. So these are the kinds of things that we're looking into for setting this up. Thank you, Lori. That's what I'm trying to do. Just give my spin on it. One of the things that has served me well in my business was breaking down some of these things so that people could understand them, and that's just kind of what I'm trying to do here with these live feeds, just to help people understand things that they may not get, or give them an alternate source of information that they can find the answers they're looking for. So that's what we're trying to do and accomplish. The power is your guys's, but nobody has taught this generation or the one before us how to really use it. Canadians have never had to fight for Canada before. We've been really good at fighting other people's fights throughout the history of our nation, but we've never been really good at. We've never had any experience having to defend ourselves, and nobody expected our enemy to come from within. So this is an entire learning curve for a crossover of generations. It's not even just one generation. It's a crossover of them all. And they're word by word, they're legislating us into criminal activity and to make us criminals by doing these things. The bill M103 was such a glaring slap in the face of free speech. It's unreal. So these are kind of some of the things we're going to try and empower people to fix. For me, freedom of speech is a big problem. So this is what we got to do. So excellent stuff. No, we haven't lost a war, but I don't intend to lose one either. This is the most important one we'll ever fight, and it's not being fought in our traditional sense of the word war. And this is what people don't necessarily grasp and understand, is when we think of war, we think of cannons, soldiers, guns. War is not being done that way anymore. War is being done digitally. It's being done electronically. They are absolutely waging war on us, and we have to fight fire with fire. And in this war, that means words with words. When they take a word away from us, we replace it with another one. When they shut one of us down, we come back like a whack-a-mole, and we just keep coming. And that is exactly what changed this game with the convoy. Exactly that. It wasn't the convoy's message that changed it. It wasn't the group of people that changed it. There was very different differentiating opinions among the people in this convoy as well. And that wasn't what changed it. What changed things was the voice and the discussion getting out and proving the media wrong. That's what changed things. I fully believe that you people becoming attached to us through these live feeds was what changed the game. They didn't like it. They tried to shut us down. Every time a feed was shut down, another one would be there. And at the end of the day, the news would come on, and you guys would see for yourselves the lies that they were pumping through the news and the media. And they're still doing that. They're absolutely still doing it. It's the only weapon they've got, is poisoning the well with their artillery shells of lies. So we're putting together some action steps for that for you guys. In the next couple of days, we're going to have a letter campaign, and we will show them a new meaning of the term filibuster. How does that sound, guys? I like it a lot. I spent some time today with some people that understand this process, and they were very kind enough to help me understand it better, and put some tools in my hands that I will put forth into your hands. So, oh, so sorry. Did I miss something, Susan? Say it again. I gotta find it. Forgive me a sec here, guys. I scroll back through here a little bit. I think I missed something important. Bear with me a second, guys. How far back did I miss it? I hope not. Let's see if I can find this. What did I miss? Kevin, did I miss your comment or your question? Patriot strong. That's what we gotta be. I feel horrible. I missed a comment. Susan's boys, what are your names? Hi, guys. I am so proud that you guys are here listening to me instead of off playing video games or something like that. That is so cool. To be honest with you, there's a couple of young fellas, 3 young boys that live in the house here, and they hear me like an echo until they turn their games up. So I'm proud of you guys. Have I ever been a teacher? Not officially as in like a school or anything like that, but I've always kind of excelled throughout my jobs and careers as helping people understand and be a teacher among that. Alexander and Nathaniel, awesome guys. I'm proud of you guys. We're doing this for you guys. You guys are what this is all about, and I'm proud that you guys are here taking this in. That's really super cool, Kevin. You're teaching your boys the right way. You're teaching them about reality and what it takes. Freedom isn't free. It isn't, people. It isn't free. Kevin Young, thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing your boys into here and sharing this with me. That's the highest honor that I could have and receive. I really appreciate that. You guys are becoming as big an addiction to me as what I was told that we were to you guys when we were on the road. It'll come out. It'll come out after I post it to my page, so you'll be able to share it. If you can't share it now, Travis, my apologies. But Kevin, thank you again. That means a lot to me. That's made my day. It's hard. I'm choking on a road apple right now, so you know it. Xavier and Nathaniel, you guys are what it's all about. You got exactly. Choke. Yeah, people fear what they don't understand. That's human nature, and we have to get past that. And understanding that is their human nature is half the battle. Because when you understand a problem, it opens doors to looking for the right solutions. It's just basic stuff, and it doesn't matter how big, bad, or tough you are. You hear a bang in the middle of the night, you bolt upright, and your first instinct is fear. What's that? Your mind clicks in, you figure it out, you have an answer, you have the solution, you go back to sleep. That's human nature. So when we're talking about things that people don't understand, the first thing is fear. That's their reaction. So we have to meet them where they're at. Find the thing. Listen. When we're trying, here's a little tip. If you want somebody to understand your point of view, don't talk to them. Listen to them. Listen. Your ears are your best weapon, because they will give you the point that means something to them. that will give you the doorway to give them the little nugget of truth that will set them free. They will start looking. But you listen. You don't convince them. You listen to them. And you give them that little grain of sand. And they will dig a hole. And they will, once they've entered that hole, they will never come out. And you guys can all probably relate to that. You guys, so many of these things, we didn't believe at first. We didn't, there was this, that, and the other thing. We discounted it. We discredited it. It was a conspiracy theory. Until you found your nugget. And that changes things for you. When you, somebody that's supposed to be in here hanging out with me is trying to call me. So, on that note, people are chasing me. I have things to do. And I went a little long here tonight because I did get interrupted. I love you guys so much, and I really, really appreciate that you guys take the time to hang in here. Agenda 21, we're going to get into that stuff really, really soon. What I've considered doing is putting together a private show or a private group thing where we can get together and we can talk about some of the stuff that is deeper, the kind of stuff that gets us taken off of social media, for people that want to dig, that are brave enough to dig into the deeper, darker portions and things that are happening in Canada. Get in touch with me if you'd be interested in taking part in something like that. We would do that on a completely different platform. Right now, Seeds of Truth. That's exactly it. That's what these shows, these lives are about. Seeds of Truth. I have no doubt, Jeremy, so do I. And I just, I leave those for people that have the ability to handle it, cope with it, and knowledge of it, or are ready to dig with it. So that's kind of where we'll take that. But for tonight, guys, I'm going to let you guys go here, and I'm going to say I love you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'll try and get more structured and scheduled with this. 5:30 again tomorrow night. Stand tall till I fall. That's it, Matthew. Stand tall till we fall. So, we are patriots. We are Canada first. We are yellow vests, and we are about loving our people and our nation. That's what we got to remember, focus on, and stay in our lane. And it's a race to the finish line, guys. And we got this. We got this. They know it. They're just not going to go down without a fight. No dictatorship, no corruption ever does. So we just got to keep it going until the dumpster fire is put out and washed away, and we're the ones left standing. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Some of you, I'll talk to you in between. Take care, folks. Love you, and yeah, see you tomorrow.